In 2010, a team of researchers at the University of Kentucky ran a strange experiment. They gave some participants Tylenol, not for a headache, not for back pain. They wanted to see if it would help with heartbreak, and it worked. The people who took the painkiller every day for 3 weeks reported feeling significantly less hurt by everyday social rejections than those who took the placebo. This raises a question most of us have never thought to ask. When you say rejection hurts, is that a metaphor? We use pain language for emotional experiences all the time. A broken heart, the sting of criticism, a stab of jealousy. We treat these as figures of speech, poetic ways of describing something that merely feels bad. But neuroscience has spent the last 2 decades quietly building a case for this language which isn't metaphorical at all. That the pain of being rejected and the pain of breaking a bone share something far more fundamental than we've ever admitted. Not just similar intensity, not just a similar emotional response, the same physical hardware inside the same brain. To understand why, you have to go back about 200,000 years. For the overwhelming majority of human prehistory, belonging to a group wasn't a preference, it was survival. Alone, a human being cannot hunt large prey effectively, cannot defend against predators, cannot survive a serious illness or injury without help. Being expelled from your tribe was essentially a death sentence. Not dramatically, not immediately, but social exclusion was lethal. It might take days, it might take weeks, but the outcome was the same. This created a serious problem for evolution to solve. It needed a system that would motivate humans to care, deeply, urgently, automatically, about their social standing. A system so fast and so powerful that it couldn't be overridden by conscious thought. And evolution did what it always does when it needs to build something new. It borrowed what was already there. It borrowed pain. In 2003, a neuroscientist named Naomi Eisenberger and her colleague Matthew Lieberman at UCLA ran what became one of the most cited experiments in social neuroscience. They put participants inside of an fMRI scanner and had them play a simple computer game called Cyberball, basically a digital game of catch with 2 other players. Midway through the game, the other players stopped throwing the ball to the participant. They were excluded. The game kept going, they just weren't a part of it anymore. And something remarkable showed up on the brain scans. The regions that activated during social exclusion were the same regions that activate during physical pain, specifically the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex and the anterior insula. These aren't areas associated with general distress or negative emotion. These are the regions your brain uses to signal that something is physically wrong with your body, the same regions that fire when you burn your hand on a stove. Later studies pushed this even further. Researchers found that the intensity of social rejection correlated directly with the strength of activation in these pain regions, exactly the way a harder impact causes more pain response than a light tap. And the people who scored higher in sensitivity to physical pain also tended to score higher in sensitivity to social rejection. The systems aren't just parallel, they are in a very meaningful sense the same system. This reframes a lot of things that have always seemed strange. It explains why being ignored feels physically uncomfortable, because to your nervous system, it registers as a physical threat. It explains why heartbreak is so disabling. You aren't just sad. Your body is processing a genuine alarm signal with the same urgency it would give a wound. It explains why prolonged loneliness produces cascading health consequences, elevated stress hormones, impaired immune function, disrupted sleep. Loneliness doesn't just feel bad, it injures. It also explains why ostracism, complete social exclusion, has been used as a punishment across every culture in human history. Shunning, exile, excommunication, solitary confinement, these aren't just cruel in an emotional sense, they are physiologically painful. The brain experiences them that way. And it explains something you may already know from experience. Why some people seem to shake off rejection so quickly while others carry it for years. It's just like physical pain can become chronic, changing how the nervous system calibrates, lowering its threshold for what triggers a pain response. Social pain can entrench itself the same way. The hardware doesn't distinguish. Your brain didn't evolve to tell the difference between being stabbed and being ghosted. Both signals travel through the same circuitry because for most of human history, the difference between them barely mattered. Either one could end your life. If you made it this far, you already know more about how your brain processes rejection than most people ever will. Subscribe so you don't miss what we unravel next.